So select a weapon system which breaches one layer of concrete and explodes on the floor, again no damage to the target. So the intelligence had floor and get inside the basement at 15 by 15 feet and then explode. Now to get that type of intelligence, it needs efforts. And that is the type of intelligence which we got. And that is how all 9 targets, and I'm just talking about the target. Now the missile has to fly a particular route. You have to get the intelligence that there is no air defense unit on this flight path. Because hits that 15 feet by 15 feet, 3 layers down. Then you also have to cater for enemy's air defense. That is about air and other things. So there are a lot of things which go into this. And then who picks up this target? Does Air Force do it? Does the Army does it? Or Navy does it? All have the capability. So this is the cohesion with which those 15 days were, planned and worked upon to achieve that result. 9 terror targets, all 9 hit with precision. Not a single missile of ours could be intercepted by the enemy. On 10th of May, we hit 11 air bases. Not a single missile was intercepted by the enemy. Now that is the type of defense forces you have, that is the type of intelligence we have in the middle of this messy situation which we are working in. And we have to keep confidentiality. So it's a very, very surgical, well-planned operations which are carried out. The citizens only see it on the TV. Lot goes into it, In my third book, I written about the intelligence gathering of Operation Sindoor and the weapon target matching. It's a very detailed thing. Sorry, I've taken a little longer, but I thought the students must know what the military is doing and how difficult it is to achieve it.
Sir, the kind of technology that we possess as a country and our armed forces possess is exceptional. Now, these airstrikes, we were not risking a lot of our soldiers' lives. But, when we retaliated for Uri, we had to put boots on the ground. And I was told that no intelligence is perfect 100%. Now, as a commander, when you know that you don't have perfect intelligence, what is your mindset when you send your troops deep into enemy territory, risking their lives? What is your mindset and what do you tell the soldiers?
See, having been part of such operations as a young officer, the mindset is very clear. There is no scope for a failure. There is just no scope for a failure. And if there is no scope for a failure, because when my team or myself with 10 more soldiers, we are given a mission, something like Uri. I am talking of any officer. We have an officer sitting here. When he goes in for that mission, it is not that that officer and 10 Jawans will fail in the mission. It is India will fail in its mission. That is the responsibility. If that is the responsibility, then that is the type of planning, that is the type of motivation, that is the type of we will not fail. Has to be the attitude. And for that to happen, you need to work on the contingencies, you need to work on the options, you need to work on where all it can fail. Every day we have small little planning done and small little things we do for our daily lives. Unintentionally we cater for it. कि अगर ये हो गया तो फिर क्या करेंगे, वो हो गया तो फिर क्या करेंगे. In such like operations, the contingencies go into dozens. If just before we are leaving, if the surprise is lost and enemy fires on us, then what? If once we have crossed the line of control, then what? If we have gone 1 kilometer inside and we have a mine blast and one soldier loses a leg, then what? And all these contingencies are rehearsed and worked. But still, there is a saying in the military, no plan survives the first bullet fired in the war. You may do planning for 10 years, and moment you enter the war, the first bullet which is fired, the first casualty is your plan. And that is when you have to start working on the contingency. I'll give an example, and every team member counts. I'll give an example from February 2020.